This is Josh Stuller, who has a form of schizophrenia in what's called the cage in the Chelan County Jail in Wenatchee. 6 years ago, he was locked up in the cage, or in here, this solitary confinement cell no bigger than a parking stall, not for days or weeks, but for a solid year, 23 hours a day.
It's hard to think about because here you are in this confined box.
Josh was in psychosis with voices shouting frightening messages.
This is the end of your life. We'll let you know when we're going to kill you. The stuff and nightmares.
That sounds like the ultimate description of human suffering.
Yeah.
In 2015, police found writings about threats to kill and a list of people in Josh's apartment. He was charged with attempted murder, charges he says he didn't understand.
Obviously, I did something wrong, or else I wouldn't be in there, but I didn't understand.
During those months in solitary confinement, Josh deteriorated. A jail counselor wrote he hears voices all day. Very mean people are telling him his parents are dead, he'll die in prison, and he's seeing spiders and cockroaches in his cell.
Did you even want to be living?
No.
Right now in the state of Washington, there's a record number of mentally ill people suffering long and unconstitutional delays in the criminal justice system. Behind bars, they're waiting for court-ordered treatment, help to restore their mental health so they can understand the charges against them. It's never been this bad. 1 year ago, 250 people were waiting for a bed at a state psychiatric hospital. Today, that's jumped to roughly 850 people. In just 1 year, a 140% increase.
I don't know how to quantify that type of horrific experience.
In court, we heard details of the suffering.
He is essentially in a cage 23 hours a day, and the impact on his mental health is not lost on this court.
Ms. Johnson desperately needs medical attention, and each day that she spends compounds that harm.
I'm being subjected to solitary confinement in this jail without treatment.
I absolutely believe you and understand that you are suffering up in solitary. I absolutely believe that.
Is jail one of the worst places for someone with a serious mental illness?
It's not just one of the worst, it is the worst place for a person to be who has a serious mental illness.
Lisa Daly is director of the Treatment Advocacy Center in Washington, D.C. Decades of research shows jail is extremely detrimental to people who are sick with mental illness. A study by the UN called it a form of torture, and the longer the wait in jail, the harder it becomes to get better.
It can really cause irreversible brain damage. Basically, the longer that a person spends in untreated psychosis, the harder it is for them to return to the same level of functioning once they're actually receiving treatment again.
So it's a lot of resources, a lot of energy invested in trying to turn this number around, and unfortunately, we've not been successful in doing that.
DSHS says the biggest challenge is the increase in need. In the last 6 years, the number of people sitting in jails like here at King County needing help at a state psychiatric hospital has nearly doubled, nearly twice as many people in the last 6 years. Doctors Thomas Kinlan and Brian Wablinger are high-ranking officials at the Department of Social and Health Services, DSHS, which runs Western State Hospital. The state agency's been in hot water for the delays for 7 years. In 2015, a federal judge ruled a bed must be available in 7 days. But in some cases, it's now taking 7 months, making DSHS in contempt of court.
We knew ahead of time that services would be increasing over time. We knew that. Can you look into a crystal ball and predict exactly what's going to happen? No.
He got so much worse in jail.
Jerry Clark's son Calvin of Vancouver, Washington, landed in both the King and Clark County jails while sick with bipolar disorder.
It added terror to horror.
Jerry says after a month behind bars, they didn't recognize their son.
The system had plenty of time to figure out how to help him appropriately, and instead traumatized him, and his illness got worse. No one wants to believe that somebody that you love that deeply could ever experience what we went through. It is unbelievable what happened to my son. It's unbelievable.
Before the onset of his mental illness, Calvin was a skilled surfer, scholar, and state champion debater. He got a college scholarship for debate. But Calvin never finished college. 9 months after getting out of jail at the age of 23, He died by suicide. Do you think your son could be alive today if he wouldn't have been incarcerated while he was so mentally ill?
Yeah. I believe that because of his incarcerations, he felt like he had been pushed to the bottom of society and discarded.
Josh Stuller's come a long way since his time in jail. He's a new dad and engaged to be married. He's also advocated for change in Olympia. That's Josh standing right by the governor at a 2019 signing of a bill aimed at decreasing wait times in jail. He'd hoped conditions had changed, and they have. Timelines for getting help have gotten worse, not better.
I'm pissed. Very, very angry about that. If you let people languish in the conditions of county jails for that long, I would consider that a crime against humanity.
So what is the state of Washington doing to try to fix all this? DSHS has several construction projects underway right now to add more bed space, and they're working hard to recruit more workers. There are a lot of jobs open at Western State Hospital in Lakewood, but you know what they really want to focus on is getting more resources out in the community so that people who have a mental illness don't ever get into the criminal justice system in the first place.
There's a desperate need for that. So Josh Stuller, it seems like he's a success story.
He really is. He was found not guilty by reason of insanity. And then he was ordered to go to Eastern State Hospital, which is outside of Spokane. And you know what? He says the state did a very good job with him there. He said they have the right professionals, they have the right tools, and within 3 months, he was out of psychosis and he's stable to this day.